What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Cultural Approved, the first one of the year, the new year.
Fuck R. Kelly.
I know we've been gone since, November. It's been a minute. Kind of do some restructuring. Of course, it's your boy Just Joe. I got my man's Chris.
Fuck R. Kelly.
And the theme of today is fuck R. Kelly. That's really what it comes down to. There's not.
Hey,
I don't
it's
think
all
there's gonna
bias. If you like Kels, fuck you too. Ain't no two sides of the story shit. Fuck R. Kelly.
I mean, at the end of the day, I definitely agree with him. Cause we dealing with minors at this point. You know what I'm saying? And this is some shit that's been happening for 30 years. But I feel like coming off the heels of the Surviving R. Kelly Docu-Series on Lifetime, it's more to address than just R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying? Like, for one, this is bigger than him. For one, you know, this is an issue that plagues the black community when we think about rape and molestation. You know, I'm sure everybody here and everybody that's watching knows somebody, whether it's a boy or a girl or a man or a woman, that has been raped or molested at some point at their life, and we fail to talk about it. You know, and it's so much so where this shit has crept into all forms of our media, from movies to television shows to music. But to kind of reel it back to R. Kelly, and I do want to start there. This is something that has been happening for 30 years. You know, this is something that when our parents were in school, they knew about this dude pulling up to Kenwood High School and sitting there, you know, trying to pick up high school kids. You know, and it's just some real fucked up shit. So, bro, I wanna kick it to you, because I know you didn't watch the Lifetime shit. But overall, how do you fucking feel about the fact that it's been 30 years for this shit to hit the fan for him? You know, even after the fucking sex tape and everything like that.
Well, I don't know. I kind of always thought he was a creep anyway. Like, I probably know a handful, and I mean literally maybe a handful. You was trying to go through all the songs, and there's probably still on there like 10 that I actually knew.
That you actually knew.
Like, I never really, you know, most of that was because of the way the radio is. They constantly play stuff, and you can't get away from certain songs. But it's not no surprise to me. They had a few rappers from Chicago come out and say, like, yeah, I used to go to Kenwood. I remember his car being parked out right there, boo, boo, boo. Like, this ain't, there's somebody who was like a city legend, hood legend. It's like doing stuff that people knew about, and I think it was all about that whole, the word consent kind of got, you know, loosely used for all of this, you know what I'm saying? And the way, it kind of opened and showed you how people truly looked at stuff. Like, there was people who was like talking. I know I saw you saying, somebody was trying to say separate the artist from the music,
right? From
the artist, and it's like
it's physically impossible.
Literally.
And I've been making that same statement whenever I see somebody on Facebook or on Twitter, or whenever I had a conversation with people when they talk about some, you know, oh, I don't fuck with this dude in his personal life, but, you know, I'm still a fan. He makes great music. I'm not gonna stop listening to his music.
It's not like this is like basketball.
Facts.
You can hate a player
Facts.
for who he is on the court,
Facts.
and then you don't care about his, like, that had you not liking him on court.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Fine. Is he still gonna get paid by the league? Because that's not no serious issue. But you're literally helping a rapist.
Facts.
A sex slave owner,
a predator.
basically.
Yeah.
A predator.
A predator.
Get money, which is what is enticing motherfuckers' parents to even say, and basically be like, go ahead and kick it with R. Kelly, girl. Like, instead, it's plenty of 40, 50-year-olds
Facts.
who probably look good out here.
Facts.
You could have
willing to give it up to you.
Yeah,
exactly.
let you do your thing. You was not like you video on stage and you let motherfuckers wipe your dick. Like
Facts.
you could have got anything you wanted, but
Facts.
you choose people 2-3 generations under you.
Facts.
You fucking
like nigga,
piece of
you're
slut.
definitely old enough to be these motherfuckers' grandfather. Like
Nowadays,
like no
hell
fucking
yeah.
pun intended.
Hell
G.
yeah,
Like you
nowadays.
50 and you still running wilder than Hulkamania. So it's like this nigga, he what the correlation between the two that I'm trying to make is exactly what you were saying. Like there is physically impossible in this instance to separate the art from the person and his character, because the art is how he makes his money. Period.
Oh, but
He's making his money doing this shit. You know what the fuck he's doing with his money.
now we could go, but we can even go deeper than that. It's like now, as cameraman Jeff said earlier, Young Hoodie said earlier. Well, you listen to his songs differently now.
Facts.
Like if you didn't know all of this, or now that the light has been shed, seems like you ready.
Exactly. Seems like you ready. Ain't nothing wrong with a little bump and
like,
grind. He wrote "Age is nothing but a number for Aaliyah."
Exactly.
Like all of his shit has this creepy pedophile aura about it, and the fact that you're so willing to ignore that, knowing he wrote this about a child.
Yes.
He's writing these sexual escapades and encounters with the intent of he's drawing from his own experiences, and his experiences deal with fucking minors. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't give a fuck how you feel about it, but knowing that he's talking this sexual explicit shit about a kid, G, is sick. It's super sick.
I forgot the interviewer. They asked this man, "Do you like teenage girls?" And he said, "Well, how young are we talking?"
Facts. When you say teenage girls, what are we talking?
Exactly.
Nigga, teenage. Nigga, like
you know what
13 through 19. Nigga, all them teen years, fam. Like, keep it a buck.
Man, like I said, I just fuck R. Kelly, dog. I've been this way, and before all of this stuff even came out, you ain't never heard me say I'm finna turn on some kills. You ain't never heard me say none of that. The closest I even get to an R. Kelly song is "Piss on You," Dave Chappelle. That's as close as I get to any R. Kelly song.
Facts.
Like I Believe I Can Fly don't even get played around here.
Facts.
Like none of them.
And then that's the crazy part to me though, because like I said, I know a bunch of people. Like my parents are huge R. Kelly fans. Like when we was doing the thing before we started pre-taping, and I was trying to rally off the fucking names of the shit that you might know. Like I said, I've seen so many of these album covers. Like we have these albums at the crib. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I know the man's legacy from 12 Play to TP2 to R. Kelly to R to Chocolate Factory.
The only thing
like,
I know was Chocolate Factory.
Like, G.
All you said.
I know the nigga's catalog. You know what I'm saying? I know musically what this dude is. But once again, you can't separate the art from the person. But another thing that bothers me about this shit, to kind of keep it in the realm of music, I have this tendency to question everybody, because once again, I don't think R. Kelly is the only person that we need to look at with a magnifying glass. I think we need to look at the music industry in a whole under a magnifying glass, and then we need to look at the adults that were present over the past 30 years that knew this shit was happening and did nothing. So like when I see this shit going on and I see he's catching all types of hell after 30 years,
here's my thing. I can't even say he's catching all types of hell, because as much as I see people hollering R. Kelly as a rapist, I've seen plenty of people, I don't care.
Facts.
The little girl shouldn't have been fast. Like,
Facts.
A whole bunch of other stuff like that. And that's why I said earlier, it really opened your eyes on like the word consent and where people's minds are really at when it comes to this man that they like to call R. Kelly.
See, but my thing is though, I hate the fake ass outrage, because to reel it back to where I was getting to with the industry, I think of all of the people that are coming out with their tweets and everything, trying to separate themselves from him in the midst of all of this is happening. Like, we have people that's near and dear to our hearts in the industry that have done songs with this nigga. Jay-Z done did 2 albums with this nigga. Chance recently did a record with this nigga, like some 2 years. Exactly. And then it's like, you guys know the type of nigga y'all dealing with.
The only person I don't think could say maybe not I know is Chance.
Nah, that nigga know, fam.
I know shit.
Nah, fam, that nigga knew, fam. Like I can give you the G Slab, but you not finna be Chance the rapper, the next nigga coming up in the city of Chicago, and you don't fucking know. That's hard for me to believe somebody that's in the industry don't fucking know. What pisses me off about people is that you say all of these things and you say, I'm still a fan of R. Kelly. Keep that same energy when it's your child.
Facts.
Have that same level of forgiveness.
But my thing
have that same level of all of that shit.
I gotta be slightly, keep a little bit of devil's advocate here.
For sure.
How many of these parents was willingly let their kid, and that's why I say that it's not like it's more onus on not just Kels, but those parents too, and letting that happen.
And I'm actually glad that you brought that up, because that segues the part that I mentioned about the adults who are present. This is 30 years of this nigga getting his shit off. So once again, I saw all 6 parts. My wife was down to see that shit. I wanted to watch the Titan games with The Rock, but I knew everybody was gonna be crazy over this shit. So as we watched all 3 nights, there were certain things that I had an issue with. I had an issue with his tour managers. I had an issue with producers that was around him. And then I had an issue with parents and the adults that fucked with him. Now, the producer said, one of the producers, light-skinned nigga with the little ponytail, old motherfucker, if you seen it, you know. The nigga said something to the effect of like, I showed up at a party and it was underage girls there and it felt wrong and I didn't check any IDs or tell anybody to stop or nothing. I just got out the way. And then when you think about his manager, who openly admitted, we forged Aaliyah's documentation to say she was 18 so they can get married. I knew they were having sex. Kels admitted to me, yo, I fucked up. Aaliyah might be pregnant. All at 15. You're 30-something years old and she's 15. Knowing that you niggas is doing this shit, y'all cared about the bag more than y'all cared about what was morally happening. The fact that dude can turn his back on these high school kids. I'm talking freshmen, sophomores, juniors, high school kids. Motherfuckers that don't even have a driver's permit yet. And you can turn your back on them because you're eating off this nigga.
Well, let me ask you a question real quick. Since you brought up Aaliyah and everybody know her mom just recently came out refuting those statements.
Right.
A young lady who said she saw her and R. Kelly having sex on the tour bus.
Exactly, on the tour bus.
What are your thoughts on that? I mean, because I've been talking with someone about it. Me personally, I don't even want to say I'm taking the mother's side, but it's one of those, if the mom is saying that never happened, like they never had sex or anything like that, who am I to disagree with the mother by saying you're full of shit, you're lying?
Now,
she's still, okay, let me say this.
Go ahead.
I'ma play devil's advocate with that.
And before you say that, only reason I'm saying it because none of us was actually there.
Yeah, I got you.
We all, like I said, we all hear the stories about the marriage and
Mm-hmm.
him possibly getting Aaliyah pregnant during that time period. All I'm saying is none of us was actually there. But I do subscribe to the notion if there's smoke, there got to be some type of fire there.
Exactly.
So I don't want to say that the whole Aaliyah situation wasn't real,
wasn't validated,
wasn't fabricated,
For sure.
did someone Photoshop those things, those documents.
For sure.
Only thing I'm just saying is I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened.
Facts.
Her mother was there. Her father was there. Her brother was there.
Facts.
If they're the ones saying that none of that happened, I'm just one of those guys. I just got to take the mother's word for it. I don't understand what gains that the mother get by covering for R. Kelly.
And this is where I'm going to get into that. It's not necessarily covering for R. Kelly. I think it's covering for Aaliyah. She still makes money off of Aaliyah till this day.
Facts.
The whole family does.
Facts.
So,
because everybody still played One in a Million whenever her birthday.
Well, none of her stuff is on the stream sites and on the internet.
It's Aaliyah. You know what I'm
still-
saying? Like
it's
people
she
still sample her.
No,
music.
I know.
The movie that her mama helped produce for was it a Lifetime movie?
No,
that
no,
was
they family-
VH1.
No.
They family had nothing to do with
They
that.
family had nothing to do with that, but they did release a theater version with that they did have a hand in. So they.
I never even knew anything about it.
I didn't know anything about it until recently.
But the Lifetime they had.
I know that. I know that.
Was
about
it Lifetime or VH1?
Lifetime.
It was a Lifetime
Okay.
movie because they showed that movie before the first 2 episodes of the R. Kelly
They
shit.
dirty.
Oh, they've been trying to get R. Kelly out the
Lifetime
paint
with
for a
the
while.
Hey, dirty.
Lifetime with the shits.
Man.
They've been trying to
is
get R.
with the
Kelly out the
shits.
paint for a couple of years
Facts.
now.
Lifetime is with the shits.
But my thing is, regardless, because there's still physical sales, and if you can find it, you find it.
Fact.
They still make money off of it. You don't want to tarnish her image because she gone and she can't defend herself.
And that's what. And I don't mean to cut you off. That's what's been eating me up all weekend.
Facts.
Is when it comes to the Aaliyah shit.
Facts.
Whether any of this was true or not, Aaliyah cannot defend
She
herself.
can't defend herself. Yeah. Rest in peace to the
and
dead.
that's what
For sure.
hurts me because, like I said, if any of this was true, she was still a child. She didn't know no fucking better.
Right. See, and then
The same as me. I was 14 when I went to go buy chocolate. Right? I knew what happened, but I didn't fully understand, grasp the concept
Facts.
of everything that was
Facts.
going on. You know,
Facts.
I just knew. I seen the tape.
Facts.
You
You
know,
knew it was R. Kelly. This the
I
nigga that made
knew
the
the
Space
story.
Jam song.
Like I'm saying, I knew all the
Facts.
stories, so I didn't.
Facts.
I can't really follow the 14-year-old.
Facts. But once again, her defending her is like put it into context of what the average 15, 16-year-old is doing. Nigga, I was a father at 16. So I was definitely fucking without my parents knowing I was fucking.
Well, y'all know what I was doing.
Like, he was a nasty nigga. so like, but like, the average kid is doing some shit they ain't got no business doing at 15, 16.
Yeah.
So here you are, this person who's with a predator, and we know that they got married. You know, we know all of this shit happened. So for her to say they didn't have sex,
They got
married.
Watch this, and this is how you tie it in. The reason why I'm gonna say the marriage happened. What did the tour manager say? He said he fucked up,
he
got
said
her
he
pregnant.
fucked up, I got
What
her
did they do back in the day? Anytime somebody got pregnant at a young age, they would try to get married.
They
so they
were
could say
married.
they did it under marriage. That's literally what was trying to
Facts.
happen right there.
Facts.
That's literally what was going on.
So
it's like
I'm
you
doing
can't
the right
say.
shit. Yeah.
It's almost like you can't sit here and say they didn't have sex. If they were legally freaking married, you knew your daughter was underage, and how they supposed to get
Well, how
married.
much do you think that? Let's
Go ahead,
just
say what you
roll
say.
down that path right now.
Say what you want to say.
That
Go ahead.
Aaliyah was, they actually got married. How much of that do you think their parents knew? Do you think they knew off the rip, or do you think they found out like?
I don't think they knew off the rip.
You think they might have found out like late, like that February when they got quote unquote divorced?
I wouldn't say they found out when they got divorced, but I would
They had to have
say,
found out around that time.
They had to, but I wouldn't be surprised if they knew they
Like a
were
little
married
bit before,
like
and
either
maybe
a
that's
little bit
the
before or a
reason why
little
the
bit
divorce
after.
happened.
Exactly, because they found out and they like, nah, y'all can't, nah, you not finna be married to my daughter. You know what I'm saying?
Because
Some
after
shit like
that, after that first album, you did not see them together
at all.
They hadn't worked together since that
nigga,
first album.
That nigga was on the cover of her first album.
Yeah, in the background.
Oh yeah, he was
In the fucking background. You was a nasty nigga. So fucking it's just like to put it in that perspective, rape is the unlawful sex.
Break down statutory rape too.
See, but then I also had somebody bring that up because statutory rape does add a whole new element to it. But when you just think of rape alone, you shouldn't have to go further than that.
All I need to hear is the word rape. I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care what word is in front of it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And then that's my whole thing. When you hear the word rape and I see people justifying it, or we have this one idea of what rape is, you know, whenever the average person hears rape, they think force. That's not what rape is. It's unlawful sex with or without consent. You can pull up the definition anywhere. To go back to this Aaliyah shit, he raped her. If they forged documents to say she was 18 and she wasn't,
it means she was in
they
the
got
state.
married in Maywood.
Exactly.
Nigga.
Oh yeah, she was in the state.
They got married in Maywood, nigga.
I thought it was Rosemont.
No,
I
they
thought
got
that's what the
married.
document said. Rosemont on it. Village of Rosemont.
That's probably where
It
they
was
got
in
that shit
Illinois
from.
with the
it was in Illinois.
It's 18.
17. It's
17,
17.
huh?
The age of 17. But she was 15, G. That like that's the top and bottom line. That's the top and bottom line. She was under the legal age.
And he knew he was doing wrong, and so he trying to cover. Oh,
He trying to cover his fucking tracks.
Fuck R. Kelly.
He trying to cover his fucking tracks.
Bro, how can anybody even think about support? Oh my god.
And that's what I'm saying. To be people who were working with this nigga on the regular, and y'all did nothing when y'all knew how he was giving it up to these kids.
And this nigga was having Hello Kitty parties on the tour. G.
Like,
What
G,
you doing? Like,
what you doing?
Like he literally like
What are you doing?
What was happening in them parties? Like
Facts.
honestly, like they fit to you knew and you let it slide.
Like,
or
gee.
you saw this and let it slide all for some bread.
All because you was eating.
Go be a tour manager for somebody else.
Facts. Nigga, like you can get you a fucking job for somebody else based off of the work you've done with this
Yeah,
nigga
I'm tour
already.
manager for R. Kelly. Boom.
Facts. Step away from this nigga. Report what's going on with this nigga, G. Like, y'all, we gotta start having some type of responsibility when it comes to our youth.
I'm assuming they even was on that show because he probably stopped giving them the bag. Now it's time to
Exactly,
talk.
and
because
then that
just
was the
talk.
other thing that I wanted to transition to, the people that were on the show. Now, I take all of this shit seriously. I have no way to prove any of that, but as I was watching it, I questioned certain people. Prime example, I questioned the ex-wife, Drea Kelly, because just 2 years ago in 2017, she was cruising around listening to his music on Facebook Live talking about, that's my baby daddy, bigging him up, all that shit. Mind you, this is 2017, 15 years after the sex tape allegation. You knew how this nigga was giving it up and you still bigging him up. But now a year and some change later, you want to get on here crying and boo-hooing, talking this and that. You doing that shit for a lifetime check. Keep it a G. Final thoughts I got on this shit. You gotta hold everybody accountable. This nigga R. Kelly is a monster, but everybody involved with this shit, anybody that knew something about this shit, everybody that didn't speak up, their silence is just as worse as everything that he's been doing. And that's really my last words.
Fuck R. Kelly.
Facts.
That's mine.
This has been an intense first episode of Culture Approved for the new year. Follow our cameraman, a guy named Jeff, for all types of additional content. We got a lot of shit cooking up for y'all for the rest of the year going forward, and this message is approved for the culture.